Okay, hi, Jack Mitchell, publisher, Ledger Dispatch. I'm here with Linda Jessop, with an O, not a U, since I got it wrong on the thing. This is really tough for me, and I want to talk about SB 1437. I can't imagine, I'm a parent myself, losing a daughter or son that's murdered, going through that process of court and finding the guilty party, having someone sentenced to life, and then having that turned around just off of a governor signing a piece of paper and saying, you know what, you can petition, and this killer, this murderer that was convicted, can suddenly change his piece. And so there may be some editing in this video. Linda's been kind enough to come on. This is a tough one for me. I get emotional talking about myself. Tell me a little bit about your son and what happened, first of all.
He was 19 years old. I was letting my kids, my two sons, rent my home in McCullum Hill from me, and they had two roommates. My understanding, and this is all coming from the Calaveras Sheriff's Department, is these two individuals that entered my home were looking for one of the roommates, but my son was home alone, in bed, and they shot and killed him.
And that was in 2005.
2005.
So you have two, and I've kind of gone through some of the case, and really today is not so much about the case. Well, it is about the case,
well,
but it's about
SB
1437. So you go through the trial.
It was 3 years
of
going to and from that courthouse in Calaveras County, and it was a huge chunk in our lives and very, very devastating to us. But we feel, I have all the confidence in Calaveras Sheriff's Department and Calaveras District Attorney that they have the right individual in jail.
Oh yeah, I think that was definitely, and obviously the jury.
Well, part of this bill is it makes you believe that maybe you don't have the right person in jail.
So let's get off the individual story and go talk about the bill, because that's really what we're here to talk about today. On Friday, this Friday, in court on April 12th, the Calaveras District Attorney's Office, Brad Miller, is going to be challenging the constitutionality of the legislation, this SB 1437, that was signed by Governor Brown in September of this year.
And his name is Brad Jones, just so we get it right.
Did I say Brad Jones?
No, you said Brad Miller.
Oh, I probably grabbed it. I know there was a story. Pardon me. Sorry, Brad. Brad Jones. Brad Jones will be talking about the non-constitutionality of this legislation in court on Friday. This has come up, and when SB 1437 first came out, I had a discussion with our district attorney here, Todd Reedy, who would have been on today, but he's actually at a convention or in court. But he spent about an hour talking to me on your behalf. Really, I just called him, and he called back immediately and said, this is the worst legislation he's ever seen. It's unconstitutional. They basically gutted the system. And really what it focuses on is who the murderer is, and then you also have this accomplice factor that you used to have felony murder convictions on, where you're not necessarily the one pulling the trigger.
Well, they have reworded, if you get into it, they've changed a few words to distinguish what now is first-degree murder.
So they're basically rewriting the law.
Yes.
Without a vote.
That's I think the unconstitutional part of it, is it wasn't, and nowhere in here, and I have to point this out at least once, does it talk about the victim's families.
Or the re-traumatization. I can tell you, I've had a hard time discussing whether we would put this on video, even talking to you, because these are very delicate. It's like even covering accident. When you lose somebody, I know we're the big bad press and everyone thinks we're hard, but it's very emotional, and you can re-traumatize families.
I have said this all these years. I can make more sense out of my son being killed in a car accident than two boys walking into my home with a gun and shooting him in his bed.
Yeah.
It's
not even the same. It's not the same argument. It's not even the same.
He did nothing.
Yeah, was sleeping.
He was there in his own house.
Yeah.
He did nothing. And I think if that kind of brutality exists in the person that we're going to be discussing on Friday, he does not deserve to be out.
Well, neither does anyone that's involved with that crime that was present
and one is already out.
And one is out.
Mm-hmm.
This has been fought in other court cases, and I don't have all of. There's been several that it's been found unconstitutional. Orange County, I believe, had one. There's 2 or 3 others that the DA mentioned, and I don't have them in front of me, that it is unconstitutional. I said, well, okay, so now you've got to go through the court system. The courts are saying, the judges are saying, yeah, it's unconstitutional. Why hasn't it changed? What do we have to do to change this?
Exactly.
And he basically said, well, it's going to go through the court system. It's got to get to the appellate side. Then you'll see something, and then eventually you'll see it go to the Supreme Court. And I said, well, what triggers that? And he said, I hate to say it, this is from the district attorney, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but it was an interview, and we'll certainly have him on to discuss this as Victims' Rights Week is next week.
It's this week.
Or this week,
Yeah,
that's
we're
right.
in it this week.
That's right, this week. Well, I've got everything wrong.
Well, we're going to go along anyway.
I got your name spelled wrong, I don't know Brad's last name, and Victims' Rights Week is this
Right.
week. But I asked the district attorney, I said, what changes? He said, I hate to say it, he goes, like, some real high-profile murders are going to take place, and they're going to walk.
Well, I think that, I hate to think that mine is high profile, but I think it was.
No, it's definitely, and this affects, there's like 800 cases. The interesting thing, this is retroactive. So
Yeah, see, that's another wording that, okay, if they have to reword the law, why can't it start in January?
Yeah, and so
And
here's the rules.
Why are we starting with murderers? Let's start with somebody that got 5 years for something a little bit minor. Why are we
Right.
starting with the people that committed murder? Do we really want those people back on the street?
No, I don't think we, I don't. My thing is, it's so interesting with the overcrowding issue. I mean, it's almost like they're playing the shell game. They know it's unconstitutional. They want to get people out of the, but like you said, why would you pick the top tier?
Yeah.
Have you talked to anyone at the state level about this?
No, I wish I could. I don't know how to, you tell me how to wiggle my way in there, and
Well, hopefully we'll get it covered. One of the things for our viewers on Facebook that are watching this video would be, I would hope you'd contact your legislature, discuss this, get a hold of your assemblyman, Frank Bigelow, but
Even on the Calaveras side, since it happened in Calaveras,
yes.
I am already asking everybody I know to write a letter that I'm going to be sending.
Well, I think that, and that's really one of the things, and people always say, well, does a letter really make a difference? Does that phone call make a difference? Yeah, and it's going to take,
Well,
and it's.
I'm hoping the system will make a difference.
And we've got to get this changed. It's like 200 cases, or excuse me, 800 cases that the retroactive, and this petition that for review that these murderers fill out. Have you seen the form or seen what they
I
have?
have. It's online.
It's an online form.
I was looking up the bill, and the first thing that came up was the petition that the inmates can fill out.
And how
And
easy
they
is it?
just check a couple of boxes that pertain to them and sign it, and they send it to the courts where they were convicted. And
And
the
they-
courts are obligated to look at it and review it.
That's just crazy.
No, I'm stumped. I can't believe after 14 years I'm not being drugged back into court. It's kind of how I feel a little bit. It's my choice to be there. But if there's anything else I can do for my kid that was taken from me, I'm going to be at each and every hearing. I'm going to support other people that are in my position to the best of my ability. Because
And is it like once they go back through this petition and it's done, is it done over?
well,
Done,
what we're
said
doing
done.
Friday.
Or are you going to be back in court over and over again?
Well, I might be, because that's what the DA told me, is they continue to change our laws. I might continue, and if this person, finds out about this with his free legal aid in prison, he'll continue to petition.
Free legal aid, the
Yes.
petition.
Yes, they can get any kind of aid they need for free. The only thing, the way I look at our prison systems today, they can go to school, they can work and earn a minor wage. They can do basically whatever they want, except leave.
That's,
What kind of prison is that?
Yeah.
I'm not for harsh punishment or anything. I don't ask that this person be put to death. That's not my thing.
but he
But I
was
think-
found guilty and he was sentenced, and it was
And he needs to
by
stay
a
in
jury of
jail.
his peers,
Yes.
and your son is dead
Yes.
because of the actions of this man and another man that is out.
Mhm.
And then they change. The thing I don't get is it goes through that whole process, and I know it's not the perfect system. Everyone says not the perfect legal system, but it's what we got. Changing that by the signature of one person, one governor said, okay, let's change the whole system and rename. And they're doing it with, I just saw one this morning, and I kind of got it in one of the pieces we'll talk with the DA, is not only SB 1437, but police force, and they're rewriting these laws that affect all of us, and they aren't putting it to vote. We don't get a say. They just basically.
Well, in here it says the legislature can make these choices and make these rules. And
they're supposed to vote, but they never voted.
No, and I want to know how they not only got away with that, but wasn't there just recently? Maybe you could correct me. Was this state voted for the death penalty? They voted yes. And now this Governor Newsom comes in and says,
nope.
Sorry, no.
Yeah.
How does he, I know he's the governor, but explain to me how he has that right.
Over all the voters.
Okay, he says on TV, I guess, my friend keeps telling me about this, that there was 740 people on death row. It was the largest number of any nation anywhere. Well, think about it. Why is there such a large number? Because the state of California has not exercised the death penalty. Again,
right.
I'm not doing the death penalty, but why use this kind of strategy to put into this bill?
Well, and rewriting the law, re-traumatizing families, reliving all these cases that have been decided that should be done. But there's a crime's committed, the punishment, you go through the system, you're punished, you're sent either to death or to jail. In your case, it was a guy set for life in prison, and now suddenly we change the rules. Yeah, you know what?
Maybe we'll let him out. Maybe he'll do it again.
Yeah, it makes you sick.
Understand
it makes you sick, and I think most of the folks out there, you got to write the letters. You've got to get that out, and really.
You got to start speaking up. I mean, I am not really good at speaking up. In fact, as I previously told you, when my son was killed, I didn't want the media involved. I felt violated.
That's right.
I don't want, but now I'm going to speak out to the best of my ability. I'm getting it out there.
Well, I can certainly understand not even wanting the media involved. Like I said, these are you never know who you're going to get, and it's such from the outside world, such a cold embodiment.
But I understand that. But if you'll talk about 1437, hopefully in a manner that just presents it to the people, and they can make their judgments. Anybody can get online and get a copy.
Yeah. Do you know what website you went to get the copy? Is it just on the...
I think it's on here somewhere, isn't it?
Should be on the... let me look and see. It's on SB 1430. You know, we'll have this... you're going to see coverage in the newspaper very soon on SB 1437. We will have a link to show you the bill. We also will have this video that you can play and cover this because basically... Your state legislature is rewriting, well, not even a state legislature, you've got a governor that's rewriting law that relates to all of your families out there. I can't imagine if I lost a son or daughter and went through this whole process and then they came back and said, 14 years later, said, oh, by the way, the guilty parties are out and you are much nicer than I am because I don't know how I'd deal with it. Right. We need to write the letters. We need your support. You've got to get your legislature's attention and say, you know what? It's unconstitutional. We voted this stuff in. This is how we want it to go. And I can't stress that enough. It's really going to take, it's not going to be a newspaper article. It's not going to be a video. What it's going to be is everyone out there saying, you know what? We're not going to take this. And we're not going to let this happen to Linda. We're not going to let this happen to the families. We're not going to let this happen to our families that have a son, a daughter, a brother, a sister, an uncle. Enough's enough. I'm so grateful for you for bringing this to my attention and coming in. And sorry that I'm late in the game on SB 1437 and getting educated on it.
But I appreciate you doing what you're doing.
But we will fight with you. You're not alone. I appreciate you letting me put you on video without giving you a heads up and just coming down and talking about what's going on. This is some really sad stuff, but it also is an opportunity for us to gather as a community, as a county, as a state, and say, no, we're not going to take this. They're changing law without vote. It's unconstitutional. It's not what you want. It's not what I want. They say politicians are supposed to solve problems. Seems like they are creating problems. That's exactly right. And in this case, they've created a Lulu, and I say we give it right back to them. but that's me because I'm me.
And make sure if you search this under, you do SB 1437,
Yes.
because there is another 1437
Yes.
that doesn't.
SB, and like I said, in print you'll see that connection directly to the bill, and we probably will start a little letter writing campaign. We'll get the list up of who you need to contact to get this changed, and it's really going to take us all doing it. But you know, the victims and their family deserve better than this.
Thank you.
And we are going to, at least I'm going to do my part in writing letters and fighting this, and I hope you guys do too, and thank you.